Hi, everyone. Pastor Carlos, we're trying to get done with this letter in the book of Revelation to the church in Smyrna. Remember, we've already done verses uh, uh, 8 through 9a of chapter 2, and then we did 9b and 10a in the last one. And now we simply want to continue, and we're going to finish it this time. 10, starting with 10 of chapter 2 of the book of Revelation, the letter to the church in Smyrna. The Apostle John is writing it, but these are the words of Jesus. And he says, "Do not be afraid of what you're about to suffer." Don't be afraid of what you're about to suffer. And he tells us why. "I tell you, the devil will put some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. That idea of putting somebody in prison to be tested, that verse or that wording in the original writings uh, talks about proving us to be faithful. So when we are put in prison or we're put in situations where our faith is being tested, we're in that situation to prove that our faith is genuine, to know that we are following to the Lord. And it's very interesting, but he says, the devil will put you in. When we know that God is in control, God is in control of what the devil does to us. God is in control what he allows to happen to us. And then when it says you will suffer persecution for 10 days, there's various ideas of what that 10 days means. Some think it's a literal 10 days. Some believe that through historical writings that the Roman government put people in prison for 10 days to decide whether they were going to bring them to trial, or sometimes they put them in jail or prison for 10 days to try to coerce them into making a confession. But there are also those who think that that 10 days simply tells us that any time of persecution that these people were going to go through, and any time of persecution and suffering that you and I might go through in this age, the 10 days just simply means it's going to be short. It's going to be short because look what's going to happen. If you're faithful, even to the point of death, even to the point of losing your life, he says, you will receive a crown, the crown of life. The crown of life being that eternal life, not only in heaven, but here on earth, in the new earth, according to Revelation 21 and 22. The crown of life we will be given as a result of our faith being tested and as we go through that persecution and that suffering. And then at the end in verse 11, he says, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes will not be hurt at all by the second death." Remember that phrase, "he who has an ear"? After this is written to the church in general, he who has an ear brings it down and makes it personal to us. He who has an ear. And it's Jesus repeating something that he said back when he was alive on this earth. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says. And then it says, he who overcomes will not experience the second death. I haven't talked a lot about it, but I think I brought it up a little bit when we were talking about the blessings. That second death, my friends, is the lake of fire. Back in Revelation chapter 21, all those who do not follow Jesus, all those who are swindlers and idolaters and followers of Satan, all those people will be thrown into the lake of fire being that eternal punishment in hell. So, my friends, again, I encourage you to give your life to Jesus, follow Jesus, and you will not suffer the second death. You will be an overcomer. You will be able to walk in this life, even though you may be persecuted and suffer. And I was just going to say one more thing as I have just a minute or so left. Just reminder that when we look at the book of Revelation, sometimes we think it's all about the suffering church, the persecuted church. But if we look over in Revelation 13, the second beast, the beast that came out of the land, his main ministry was deception. So those of us who maybe are feeling like, oh, we're not suffering, we're not being persecuted, be aware that we might be deceived by false teaching. And right here, remember I shared before in 1 John chapter 4, verses 2 and 3, that anybody who does not believe that Jesus is the Messiah is giving you false teaching. So my friends, carry on, continue to walk with the Lord, and don't give up. God is with you. He's on your side. And remember to stay humble, because we know without Jesus, we would suffer the second death. In fact, I just close by saying, my friends, there's nothing in this world that I deserve more, that I, Pastor Carlitos, deserve more than the second death. That's eternity in hell. But because of what Jesus has done, he has died to give me the forgiveness of sin, and he is giving me the opportunity to escape from and avoid the second death. Oh, my friends, I hope you have that same thought process. Bye for now. Greetings, and we'll see you when we talk about the next church, which is the church in Pergamum. God bless.